Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. I when I do my recordings from my software, I usually put my YouTube channel name and the title of what I'm talking about in a caption on the actual page. So, that being said, if you don't know what I do and why I do it, the caption on my more, I won't say polished productions, say Real Talk for a Faith Walk. And I talk about real life situations, how I respond to real life situations, sometimes what scripture says about real life situations, and other times, I just shoot from the lip and, tell on myself. And I want to say that this recording or this channel, this medium is not about me. I just use me as an example because I spend a lot of time with myself. Yeah, that sounds silly, but it's basically about self-awareness and your responses to things, and how what scripture says, but again, how you respond to things. Okay, that being said, I'm going to talk about mood swings. This is not my own. This is just mood swings in general. You ever deal with somebody that's extremely moody? It's like you don't know who you're dealing with from one minute to the next, or what type of mood you're going to be attacked by from one minute to the next. Yeah. I have that situation with an individual, and this particular individual is the only person that is ever right. It's the only person that can do something. And I started thinking about that. Can you imagine being so fragile? Or the internal dialogue that goes along with that. And for me, I find myself, whenever I'm around this individual, now mind you, they're likable enough where you can have a conversation and you can yuck it up with. But can you imagine being so fragile that your constant state of conversation is about how good you are, how much better you are, what you know? Sometimes it's just best to let things be. Let them unfold. Let it be organic. That part. But in saying all that, see, when you put a but on it, that's going to negate what you just said. So here's the big but. Is saying all that, I am personally exhausted with dealing with that day in and day out. Like I said, individual is likable enough, but it is exhausting trying to figure out what's going on. I feel like that stupid movie Dodgeball. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge, that kind of thing. And usually it's a wrench, a monkey wrench. These type of individuals, they demand and command respect. And everybody should. But it's the voice, the tone, and the presentation that is very off-putting. It is You know, the fragility that is present in the commanding and demanding, that is also off-putting. You know, it's like the movie The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I use that a lot for life examples. I use that movie a lot. You know, Oz is making all this noise and demanding and commanding. You know, but when you pull back the curtain, there's this little itty bitty person, and it just speaks to the fragility of the nature and the character of this individual. I need, what I need you to do is, and you know, just giving instructions, and even in being helpful, they're bossy. You know, some of you have Southern grandmas, so you understand, you know, the nature of we don't have time to waste, and I need you to do this, as T, I would say, expeditiously. Yeah, just, like I said, it's exhausting. Yeah, and at times, overwhelming. I don't want to be bothered. Because I know you're going to start off with a soft hand and a glove, a velvet glove. You know, it's like those old movies when you see somebody take off gloves, a man or a woman. You know, they start with the pinky and they pull and they do the next finger and the next finger. And then they take the glove off. Then they fold it and they hold it in their hand and they're slapping their hand, making a point. You know, at some point you're going to get slapped with that glove. And it's on and cracking at that point. So I'm tired of dealing with that. I really am. So that being said, yeah, I'm not going to be childish and match energy. But what I am going to do is I'm going to be the power switch for that energy. You don't get to treat me like an option or something like a Lego that's interchangeable. You know, I'll substitute this part, Mr. Potato Head in life. Well, let's try these ears and this nose. You don't get to do that. I'm going to stay me consistently, and I'm not going to give time and energy to, I want to say, the happiness of somebody who doesn't understand how they impact people and is not prepared for happiness. There are some people, believe it or not, who find joy in their complaint. Why? Because they have a constant source of energy. There's always going to be somebody that jumps on that bandwagon. And when they wake up to what they're doing, you know, they jump off, but there's always a new source. Always. At some point, there's going to be somebody discontent with whatever. So you always have a source of energy, but it just ain't gonna be me. Right? So again, I'm not going to match energy. I'm going to shut the power off.